Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, JusJrdn, here with Ashley today. And we'll just hop right back in it. This is A Moment with Jay. And then the intro will play.
I love it.
I just wanted to hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood, like sure, you know what I mean? Say hi to the fam. Okay, let's get to work. What up?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
So what you like?
We got a special guest today. The first guest, the first guest
Yay!
that's not my family member.
I love it. This is awesome.
So
I'm so excited.
thank you for being here. We're
Thank-
matching
We are, and
unintentionally.
we didn't mean to do this.
So that's dope.
That's vibes. Yeah.
So I've known Ashley now for 7 years, 8 years.
7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Long time. I used to train her.
Yeah.
She still keeps up pretty healthy.
Bodies by Jay.
Bodies by Jay. Let's go.
Yes.
So I've known her for a long time. We're good friends. We know a lot of the same people.
Mhm.
Ashley, mom, real estate agent, hustler. She does so many things. That's why I thought it would be super cool to have her on. There's so much for us to talk about. We usually have
The best conversation.
Yeah, super long
Yeah.
combos. Anyways,
Yeah.
she'll call me. She'll send me some freaking conspiracy
See,
stuff.
oh yeah, all my videos.
So it's a good
Yeah.
time. Say hi to the people, yo.
Hi, people. I'm so excited to be here. I've never been on a podcast, but I love podcasts. I watch all of them. I'm not going to be shamelessly talking about other people, but JusJrdn's the shit.
That's
so
right, that's
this is
right.
the only podcast
That's
that you need to
right.
be listening to.
Every Wednesday.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Super dope. Yeah, so I guess we've known each other for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't even know what direction to go in to begin with.
Well, actually, when I was driving over here, I was thinking about something funny.
Okay.
It's gonna make me look kind of like an airhead, but that's okay. It was many years ago. It was on the hype of before avocados were like as big as avocados are now.
Okay.
And so I had purchased, because obviously I was training with Jordan. I was trying to be really healthy. So he was like, no more sprinkle donuts, Ashley. So I got into avocados and I didn't know what they were called. So when I bought them, I showed up to train with Jordan and I was like, Jordan, I have all these guacs and I don't know what to do with them.
Totally remember this.
Because everyone was talking about guac. I had no, can I swear on this podcast?
Oh, yeah,
I had
swear
no
all the
fucking
time.
idea that it was a dip. I thought it was the freaking fruit. So anyway, so he's like, what's a guac? I was like, those things, those green things. He's like, yo, those are avocados. And he's like, have you told other people this? I'm like, thank God I said this to you first before I was running around telling people I got a bunch of guacs. Don't know what to do with them.
That almost sounds racist. I don't know.
I
to
know.
who,
Oh my gosh.
Like, you know?
Yes. Oh damn. We went there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was for.
I didn't
actually
call
remember
you a
that. No,
guac.
didn't call
I
me.
said I got guacs.
I actually totally remember that.
Yeah.
That was back at Kinsman, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
The same time that when I was like, my legs are on fire. He's like, I see no flames.
Damn, I used to be such
You're
a
so
smart
harsh.
ass.
Yeah. You are still a smart ass.
I still am a little bit. But
Yeah.
just
But you gotta be. You gangster.
That's
You
right.
G unit.
just.
G unit. I don't know. I know it sounds way less cool when I say it, but I had to.
So tell me about
Yeah.
the real estate. So, the one thing I know about Ash, I know lots of things about Ash.
You know everything about Ash.
I know quite a bit about Ash.
You know more about Ash than one should ever know about Ash.
I know quite a bit about Ashley. But she always hustles. She was always a hustler, from day one, out the streets. It's been a while.
Out the
actually.
street.
Out the-
Like, I roll those streets,
That's
yo.
right. That's
I
right.
run the street.
I'm hyping her up too much
Yeah, you
in
are.
a different way.
Yeah,
she's
you're gonna get me gangster over here.
she's super above board with it.
Yeah, oh yeah, above board. Yeah.
she's- It's been a while even since the last time we hung. I can't even remember the last time we hung out. It was a while ago.
Yeah, we did a hot sauce testing on you for your Snapchat. That
That's
was
right.
a good time.
People loved that one.
Yeah.
People,
I bet they did.
if you know, you
You
know.
know, what do they call that? I don't even know how to say it.
IF.
IFYN. No.
Yeah, if you know.
Whatever.
Whatever the
However
first
you do
letters
it.
are
Yeah.
from that one. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's made a couple appearances
I
on the
have.
Snap.
Yeah.
They've been fun.
Yes.
But let's talk about let's get into your hustle.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago, I had an episode called The Hustle
Yeah.
because I was talking about what I was doing currently.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
selfish plug, go buy the vinyls. It's on pre-order right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your hustle. I know I see you posting on the gram.
Yeah.
What is your, do you want to shout out your grams
Yeah,
and stuff?
Ashley Realty. Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah, great.
Shameless plug.
There we go.
Ashley Realty Egg is my Instagram.
And even before we get into it, you
Yeah.
have the dopest tag.
Yeah. Your homegirl.
Your homegirl.
But there's another team out there that I found out, unfortunately, and they're called the Homegirls, but there's only one single girl. I'm not single, but you know what I mean.
Oh, you got a boy toy now?
I got a boy toy.
Not a boy
Whoa.
toy. I don't know why I always, when someone tells me they have, specifically when a girl tells me they have a significant other, I always say boy toy.
Yeah, it just sounds so bad.
It does, but I don't know.
I ain't slaying out
know,
here.
no, and I never made it.
It's not Halloween. I ain't handing treats out for free. Okay.
That's next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's what I don't know how much we want to dive into that either. That's okay. Yeah,
let's keep it on the personal.
That's okay. That's what's up. But we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I love the tag.
Yeah.
It's super dope.
Thank you.
And so tell me, how long have you been an agent for now?
2 years, but for the first year, I was just kind of finding my way. So I've been really at it and diligent for, like, I would say almost a year. I don't think I'm at quite the 2-year mark, but it is a grind. Like, it's nothing that I anticipated or expected. But the great thing about it is I feel sometimes we get comfortable, we get complacent. So, you know, for a long time, I was kind of used to just being chill, and I had so much going on in my life, which we'll obviously talk about, but I realized that, you know, there's reward on the other side of challenges and working hard. And that's where the greatest feeling and, you know, self-respect and all of those good things come from, is working hard. So, I mean, as much as I hate it sometimes because it's really hard and, you know, it's a lot. Like, I think you can see me on my Snap. Sometimes I'm working from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., you know, but the feeling that you get after it is just like better than any high that could ever be out there. You know what I mean? It's like that natural high it's like an adrenaline junkie.
Because that must be, because I mean, obviously I work in sales. I've worked in sales, selling training, selling music, selling the podcast now, technically, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know, but never have I sold something as large as a home.
I know, it's next level, and it's not, you can't be pushy, you know, and I don't want to be pushy. This is homes we're talking about, not, you know, shoes or cars or whatever else. So it's just a completely different breed.
Yeah, I could only imagine, because I know you worked in the business game for a while, doing different things, working at the hotel.
Yes, I was the hotel sales manager, and I loved that. The travel was great, but it never really got that fire under my ass, you know?
Like real estate has?
Like real estate, because I'm self-employed, so you know, I'm building something, and it's just like the chase. It's unlike anything else. It's very addictive.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, you need it, you want it, you breathe it, you live it. It's not a career, it's a complete lifestyle. It's not for everyone. Most people can't do it, but you know what? The ones that are, you know, I love realtors. I love so many people in the industry. I've always been friends with a lot of real estate agents. I feel like it's a type of person, you know, you just know that when you're talking with other agents, you know that they're an agent, they're meant to be it if they're meant to be it, because it's just, you have to be this type of person. And I think they're all awesome.
Oh,
I really love it.
So you feeling like, it sounds like anyways that you feeling like you found a good place to community of people, of peers at least.
Yeah,
you know?
no, they're all awesome. I love to learn. Like, there are a lot of people that I know call it collaboration over competition, and my partner calls it that, and he's really awesome, and I think that means a lot. Like, we shouldn't be competing, we should all be collaborating at the end of the day. The client that's going to work with you when maybe work with me, and vice versa. So I don't think there's a need to be shady, or, you know, I think we can all learn from each other, and we should all be working in unison at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all I love all of those things, you know?
Yeah.
And I love collaboration. I mean, this is hence why I started a podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Like, to have these conversations, to get ideas out, and then to explore things and have conversations.
Yeah.
Like, real estate's so interesting.
Oh, it is.
I mean, everyone lives in a home of some sort, you know?
Yeah, we all do. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, and
you know?
if you don't,
We're sorry, because it's getting
Yeah.
fucking cold.
It is
here,
cold.
too, man.
I'm wearing Crocs today. They're in sport mode, as my kids call them.
No, she show up in Crocs. It's snow. I know 50% of the viewers from the States.
Oh, cool.
So,
love the States.
Yeah, but so y'all, man, if y'all from somewhere where it's warm, man, it's snow here.
Hit me up. Let's collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
If you're in Florida, California, you know how we do.
There is a homie who watches. Shout out
Yeah.
my homie in Florida. I
Yeah.
think he's in Florida now. Shit, I know their channel just got.
Florida be wild though. Wow, you know.
Florida be wild. Some
Yeah.
of those fucking.
They
like,
got Crocs.
Florida, man,
Like real Crocs, and we're not talking about those shoes.
salts. Man,
Bath
that's a,
salts? Like, are we talking the bath salts or the
The bath-
bath
the
salts?
bath salts.
Oh, is that in Florida?
Wow, that's one of those like.
People are eating each other's faces.
Yeah, pretty sure that was a Florida dude.
Damn.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever?
Have I ever done bath
No,
salts?
no.
Just the ones you sprinkle in the tub, little Epsoms.
No, it was like, I do. I am actually loving the Epsom salt.
Yeah.
What actually is bath salts?
Like the drug?
Yeah.
Fuck if I know.
Well, actually,
Let's find that
is
out.
it?
I think it's like everything under your kitchen sink.
Because there's no way it's actually bath salts, right?
No, I don't think you can smoke Epsom salts, magnesium, Jordan.
Oh yeah, it's some fucking. Oh yeah, it gives some kind of same effect, some kind of synthetic, big word that I can't say.
Why don't you try to say it for the viewers?
All right. Cathinonis. Oh my.
Sounds like something we should not be smoking.
You should know.
That's my dare commercial for the day.
Yeah, boom. Look at
Boom.
this. Drug awareness.
Drug abuse resistance education,
Look
people.
at this. It gives the same effect as cocaine, methamphetamine, and MDMA.
That's a mad combination.
That's
That's all I can say.
That's a large range of. I
Cause-
literally thought it was bath salts.
Oh, you did? So did I when I first heard it, but then I obviously learned that. Why did it even get called that? Anyways,
It's drugs. Drugs are weird.
drugs are bad. Say no.
Tell them drugs
Say no
are
to
bad. As we smoke this
some
vape.
weed.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So I know you kind of
Yeah.
were explaining it, but shit, sorry.
Damn.
God, that was way bigger.
Gang, gang.
Gang. There's this comedian, and
Taste the comedian?
no, there is a
Oh
comedian,
yeah, you're like taste the comedian.
and he's like this gangster ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's this tall, big black dude, and he's got like missing teeth. Like his whole kind of image is that
Like-
he's kind of like,
Smoking the bath salts.
well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And every time he comes on stage, the first thing he does, he's like, gang violence! And the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, people love on stuff that's bad, but you know.
But that's why we have this podcast.
That's
to
why
talk
we
about
have
the
this
good
podcast.
shit. Because it must be crazy. Because it's
Yeah.
like, I know when I've trained somebody and, they've reached their fitness goal and whatever, it's a good feeling. But it's like, you help people find a home.
Yeah.
That must be a crazy feeling once
It
people are, again, it's just such a large purchase,
Yeah.
So to be into that, I just know you as a person, so it's like,
Yeah.
you would be dope because I'm sure you would be, like you said, not so pushy,
Yeah.
because it's like, we're talking about,
Homes. Yeah.
homes,
The
decent
biggest
size.
investment.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And okay, so that's a good thing too. Do you
Yeah.
got any advice for people looking to buy a home or?
Yeah. If you're looking for a home, I feel, even if you can't afford your ideal dream home, real estate's such a good investment in general because typically it goes up year over year. I mean, of course, sometimes it goes down, but it's always going to come up. So I always try to advise, especially first-time home buyers, just get into a home. Even if it's not the home that you want ideally, it's going to get you in, you get some equity, then you can use that capital to get into the home that you want. There's no losing when your money is being invested. I mean, rent, you're just throwing it away. Like your money is going into the hands of that investor. So you're really like paying for them to have their dream. Why not invest in your own and get into something, even if it's a small apartment? My first home I bought was like not that great. It was out in Hay Lakes. I don't know if anyone knows where that is. Dang.
I don't know where that is.
It's not somewhere like, I'm not even a country girl, okay? Like me out there with my Crocs, my heels wasn't working, but I did that to just get a home, to get an investment going. And now I have I live in my townhouse. You obviously been there. I built that. 9 years
Super
I've been
dope.
there.
Super dope. It's
Yeah.
a vibe with the lights and the fire.
Yes, and the
That-
blue. It's all
oh,
blue.
the
You know
blue.
I love blue.
I do. And so do I. That's why I think
I
it's so dope. It just all worked out so
It did,
sick.
yeah.
That's so cool though. Those are cool words
Yeah.
of advice and then cool experience on your own behalf. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's like you
Yeah.
can just start with something small and then work into something bigger and bigger over time.
Absolutely, yeah. People always think that they're going to save and get a house, but at the end of the day, you're going to be paying rent. You're going to be paying your bills. You're going to put a little bit of money away. At the end of the day, you're it's just more difficult. I don't think it's impossible. I don't believe in the word impossible. Because the word itself says, I'm possible.
Oh, look at that shit. Boom.
But yeah, if you put your money into a home, like you can do so much.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. And so, what's the market like in Edmonton? Is it popping off? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
I know shit all about real estate, really.
Well, you know, the market is very complex. There's a lot of moving parts, but you know, it's doing really well. Interest rates aren't really affecting us as much. I don't feel statistically, you know, interest rates have been where they are now historically. And I mean, COVID was just a weird time. Like, I think we just all got stuck in this mindset of that few years that kind of messed us all up in different ways and thinking that that was the norm. But 1.89 is just not sustainable. It's not sustainable for our economy, for anything. But at the end of the day, it's just better to own than to rent.
Word.
It really is.
And that's why
Yeah.
you're in the game that you're
why
in.
I'm in
You
the
believe,
game.
You believe that.
I believe it, yeah.
And that's sick. And
Yeah.
that's who you want for a real estate agent.
Yes,
Go hit
I
her up.
believe in you.
That's what's up. Because we'll take. Do you have webs? What's the best way to contact you?
Well, my phone number, which I'm not gonna just
No,
blast
no,
out,
no,
but
no.
yeah, or
Like your
Instagram,
like
Ashley
that's what
Realty
I'll-
Egg.
okay,
Yeah,
'cause we'll
I'm not
take
on
it in
Facebook anymore. You know, I really didn't even want to be on social media anymore, to be honest. I just feel like it's such a negative space, and I'm just tired of everyone showing their best life. I don't like to be in comparison or competition with anybody, or, you know, it was just better for me to just be more at peace. You know, sometimes, you know, the world's so busy and there's so many influences, and it's nice to just feel like you're not a part of that like matrix aspect, you know, like where you feel like you have to just post constantly, or like all these things that don't really mean anything are distracting us from things that actually mean something. And I just
100%.
wanted to be more present in the moment. And yeah, so it's been better for me. I'm just on the Instagram. I don't post often. I don't feel like I need to scroll my algorithms, you know, about Jesus a lot. And,
Oh,
you know,
shout out
things like
Jesus.
that. Our homeboy. Yeah, it's just like my algorithm's cool, so I don't feel like I'm seeing a lot of the, you know, those Instagram thoughties and stuff like
Of
this.
course,
You know,
of
things
course.
just that don't make us feel good about ourselves, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. And
Yeah.
you know, when I've taken my breaks from, you know, I've fallen off the social media map
Yeah.
every it seems few years actually. I'll take an extended break because
Yeah. It's like
I'll
a
just-
sabbatical.
yeah, you know, because obviously on the other side of the coin, there's so much value in social media as well.
There is. Yeah, there
you know,
definitely
generating probably leads, communicating people for your
is.
end,
Yeah.
getting my music, doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to have
Yeah.
there's so much value, and people find so much value in. I guess, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Prime Purpose Movement, better art and healthier people. Because
Yeah.
it's like content, I believe, is a type of art form. Podcasting, a type of art form.
Yeah.
And it's like from this, even the things that you've said already in the podcast,
Yeah.
so much motivation, positive. So there is a way to use it as a tool.
Yeah.
So many people are just so consumed by
Yeah,
it.
it can be a tool or it can be a weapon. And you know, it's just so sad. Like, depression's higher than it ever has been, you know, anxiety, all these things. And I just think it's because of the constant seeing other people. It's not normal for us to know, you know, everybody, what they're doing, you know, and in the constant comparison, you know.
Yeah,
It's not
100%.
normal for us to, you know, we're in a day and age where you text somebody, and if they don't text you back in an hour or two, you're, you know, the world's crumbling,
Oh,
the sky's falling. It's just not normal to have like this instant communication and feel like you're owed that,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, 100%.
We're not owed this, but now we're like instant gratification.
Yeah.
We feel so much entitlement. It's just
Mhm.
not who I want to be. It's not the person that, it didn't feel well with me, you know. Jim Carrey made a really good statement about depression. It's like you need deep rest because you're tired of playing this character. And I just don't want to play a character. I just want to be happy. I want to give love. I love everybody. You know, if you're nice, I'm nice to you type thing. Like, I don't want you know, if you're not nice, well, then fuck around, find out.
Come out sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I snap my hands. Just kidding. No, I just really just want to be a positive person. I'm constant every day. I want to wake up and be better. I always tell my kids, not to look in the rear view mirror. Like, I give them this analogy and I'm like, you see this rear view mirror. If I'm constantly looking in that rear view mirror while I'm driving, am I going to hit something? Probably, we need to be looking forward, yesterday is gone. We can't change it. We can only do better. And I just want to do it better every day.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
You made so many good points, but
thank you.
Because you did bring up the lessons to your children.
Yeah.
You do so many cool things with your kids.
I do.
And even I believe both of them are in coding.
Both of them are
both
in coding.
Of them in
yes.
coding. Like, I'm telling you, like, cool shit.
Yeah.
A bunch of cool shit with the kids. I always see you on the Snapchat with them.
Yes.
With the doing fun things.
Yeah.
I think it's super dope.
Yeah.
But one thing we wanted to kind of talk about was, you're still a young woman yourself, even now, with 2 children.
Yes.
With 2 children, and you had kids fairly early.
Yeah, I'm 30 now, but I had my first child, my oldest, who will be 13 in March. I had him when I was 16, almost 17 years old. I was pregnant. Before I had him, should we start talking?
Oh,
okay.
Of course we can.
So
talk about anything.
Okay, cool. So when I was growing up, I had a really hard life. My dad was very absent. He had other obligations. I'm not obviously good. I respect my parents no matter what, so I'm not gonna trash him, but he wasn't around much. He had a lot of obligations. My mom is handicapped. She was in a car accident before I was born, and she was in a coma, and they actually didn't think she was gonna wake up, and she had to learn how to walk, everything again. So because of that, she has like the mental capacity of a child. She was very addicted to painkillers because of the accident and because they just gave them out loosey-goosey lemon. I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind, guys. So she was very addicted to painkillers. So she was also abusive. Her and I were very combative. We would get in fights and she would jump on top of me. One time she bit me on my stomach so hard it broke skin, and I ran all the way across Sherwood Park where I grew up to my aunt's. Stuff like that. Like, it was crazy. So my parents ended up getting a divorce. They had a tumultuous, if that's how you say that word, relationship. I saw my dad and her physically fighting, and it was really traumatic. And so when they divorced, I moved in with my dad briefly, and I didn't really know him. And I was just obviously, like, I was 14 at the time. I was becoming a hormonal biatch, and I was a hellraiser. Like, if there was trouble, I was in there like a dirty shirt, like, I can't tell you how many times I was told my parents I was doing something and I was dying in the field of alcohol poisoning, just the worst. So, I ended up, I had a really good friend, Blaine. I named my oldest is Ethan Blaine after him. And unfortunately, I had snuck out of my house and he was killed in front of me when I was 15. And that still has haunted me to this day. It's something I've had to go to therapy a lot about. I was right in between. Like, the guy was behind me. Blaine was standing in front of me. He threw a knife and Blaine died in my lap. And that, I was on a murder trial for 3 years. The news reporters were coming to my high school. They couldn't tell my name because I was underage, but no one wanted to be my friend because they thought, like, this is crazy. We're going to die, like, just teenage stuff. So I dropped out of high school and then ran away from home and got pregnant. And so I had Ethan at that age of 16, almost 17 years old. And I hustled. Like, I moved to White Avenue. So the Terra Center, shout out to the Terra Center, my number one fundraising. I love them. They help me a lot. They're Terra Center for Pregnant Teens here in Edmonton.
Oh, shout out.
So I had to move to Edmonton to have their assistance. So I would be pregnant and taking a bus from White Ave, 2 buses to get to my job in Sherwood Park at a dealership where I was a receptionist, and walking through snow and being a teen mom. It was wild.
Oh my God. So many things to even touch on in that.
Sorry, I know that was long-winded.
No. That's what this is form of content is for, to have these conversations and to dive into so many things to talk about. You know, it's like even just coming from the childhood that you came from.
Yeah.
You know, like so you look back on that now, and how do you feel? Especially because I know you've gone to therapy. You know, you do a lot of that work.
Yes.
You know, on top of a lot of other things, like, you know, you eat pretty good. You know, you take pretty good care of yourself, and we'll talk about all that too.
Yeah.
But like, you know, looking back on some of those big, you know, moments in your life.
Yes.
How does that make you feel now?
It makes me, you know, for a long time I struggled, especially with, you know, my parents. I went from I love them so much to I hate them to all these kinds of mixed emotions. But it took a lot for me to realize that, you know, my parents aren't going to be around forever either. And they were people before they were parents. And, you know, sometimes people, and I don't think that they don't love me, and I don't think my mom doesn't love me in spite of everything that, you know, she's been through. She's apologized many, many times since, and we have been working on our relationship. I don't feel like she's a mom. Like, when I'm around her, like, that bond has so gone. You know, it's very strange when you have like abandonment of a parent, like, you know, stuff that I've been through. But at the end of the day, they are people, and I think she did the best that she could with what she was able to do.
Wow.
And, you know, being a mom now, which was when I started to realize how shitty my parents were, because when you're in it, that's all you know. So to me, what I was going through, I never spoke up. People are like, well, why didn't you speak up about the abuse and all this? Because to me, that was my life. That was normal. I didn't know how other people lived. Yeah. And I didn't have the mental capacity to understand that what was going on in my house was not okay. I wasn't being taken care of, and that's all I knew. Wow. So, you know, I just, and also I don't think, and I know, like, I'm not trying to push religion on anybody, but God is something that is really deep in my life. And I just don't think God gives people stuff that they can't handle. Like, I've thought about other people, and I'm like, well, if I had that, I don't think I could have dealt with that. But we're given what we're supposed to, and it's to get us to where we need to be. And, you know, you just have to have that mindset, because if we're negative and we just get stuck in that place, you know, we can be a victim or we can be a champion, you know, and I don't want to be a victim to my life. I want to be a champion of my life. And so, and I just hope other people that maybe need to hear that, like, you don't have to be, you know, the product of your circumstance. You don't have to. You can make a decision today, even if, you know, I've had so many nights, I always joke, like, so many of my life problems could have been solved if I just went to fucking bed. You know what I mean? Like, if I just went to bed, but I still can't do it, man. Damn, but
I get a message from her like 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, no one needs to know. But like, you just have to realize that even if you've gone through hell and you wake up in the morning and it's awful, you can just make a decision that you're going to do everything you can in that moment to do it better, you know?
Yeah.
And your life can change just with your mindset. Like, when you're negative and you go out, say you have a shitty morning and you're going out and you're running about your day, you're going to come across all the worst people, all these things are going to happen. And it's literally an energy thing you're attracting, because I remember, like, I was losing, when I was in the height of my divorce, I was losing everything. You know, I had every bank person calling me, you know, I couldn't go to my job. I was so stressed out. I took 2 sabbaticals, joking about sabbaticals. And so I got laid off because they were like, well, you're a manager. We need a manager, and you just can't do it. So, and then I was laying in bed one morning, and I had no money, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take these bottles in to take my kids to the indoor playground. And I had been applying and reapplying to my old job at Shaw. And then I went to that playground, and I kid you not, as I was playing with my kids, they called me and I got the job. And it was just like this switch that I made a decision that morning. I said, the only thing I have power right now of is to be happy. Like, I can be miserable in all of this, and trust me, I had a lot of reasons to. Yeah. You know, my life was really fucking hell, man. Like, oh my God. But I didn't. I just woke up and decided to take those bottles in, take my kids, and try to enjoy the day. Like, that's all I could do, you know? And just that switch, and my life turned around in that moment. So I'm just such a big believer about your mindset.
Oh, that's so huge. Yeah. I mean, and through all the experiences that I have, you know, in the darkness and the fasting, and it's just like, you can, and even the fasting, I don't know if you've seen, I started posting these videos of doing 1 meal a day things.
Yeah.
And people are messaging me being like, wow, this guy doesn't bitch and complain about
Yeah.
having to eat 1 meal a day
Yeah.
or exercising.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, things suck.
Life
People,
is, sorry.
No. I think people often think that people who are positive are ignorant to the bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're not,
No.
it's like we're well aware things suck. People are assholes.
Yeah.
People die. Things are sad. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're broke. Sometimes things are awful. Sometimes you're in a fight with people that you love.
Yeah.
Reality is harsh, but it's just not being a victim of that circumstance, like you said, and that's the difference. It's like you always have control over what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And no matter, whether it's what's his face who went to jail. Fuck.
R. Kelly?
No, definitely not R. Kelly. He was in prison.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, we're going down the total opposite way. I'm thinking it's like freaking Nelson Mandela.
Oh shit!
I was like, no,
dang.
you on the other side.
Yeah, I was on the other side of that one. Sorry, guys.
I think it was Nelson Mandela who was arrested. I can't remember. Or am I thinking of God? I keep getting, I got a mess up. Somebody went to jail and they were in jail for a long time. I think it was Nelson Mandela. And, he came out, whoever it was, came out of jail. And basically they were like, my body was in jail, but my mind never was. It's like not for 1 minute was I ever a prisoner in my mind.
I love that.
Oh,
yeah, that's
so
powerful.
So powerful. And it's just like, and I'm almost certain it was Nelson Mandela. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela definitely was in jail.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it was.
Yeah.
It was him who was talking about.
Did he die? We're gonna get to the facts here.
Yeah. This is
we're
why
factual
we have
on
this.
this podcast.
Whoa. Let's see, yo. Calgary Board of Education. It's called Nelson Mandela. Died, 2013.
Oh, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, dog. Let's see if I can even find. Maybe he has. Oh yeah, he definitely was in jail. Definitely was in jail. Okay, so I'm almost certain. No one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jail. Damn, what a fucking...
Dang.
That's a... Oh my god.
Man, being in jail, not that I've been in jail, but I'm just gonna put that disclaimer out here.
What?
I'm not being in jail, but I've heard it is like its own world. Like the way it runs, it's like its own economy, Dang.
For sure. That would be a cool motherfucker to bring on. Some kind of like cop or security. Someone works in a prison. That would be an interesting conversation to have as well. This is why I love this. There's always so many great
ideas.
So that's crazy. So, okay, circling back. Where should we hit on next?
Yeah.
Damn. I guess the big one is, there's so many big ones.
There are big ones.
Let's dive back in deep and talk about your friend.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that must have been crazy. I've had some friends who have died, from a couple of them died from suicide. Some of them been in some gang violence. Yeah. Some of them just got sick, people died. R.I.P. to all of them, man. But to be there, that must have been unreal. So it's like, some people will go their entire lives now. Actually, there was this biologist who wrote this whole paper on how one thing that's removed in society now is death so much. And back in tribal days, people would die, like
and they would eat them.
Some
people
certain
do.
Tribes and stuff. Absolutely,
I've researched that stuff. There's a tribe that still does that.
Still does that. And that one. I mean, we're not.
Yeah, we don't need to be talking about people.
We got crazy already. Oh my god! But it's like, so to desensitize. There's been times in human history where we've been completely, almost desensitized to violence in a different way than we are today.
Yeah.
Now we have more violent content.
Yeah.
But it's all very, artificial violence that we surround ourselves. And he was just talking in this paper, he was just talking about, like, he's not saying neither one of them's better or worse. It's just a very different thing. He's like,
Yeah.
but for some, obviously, it's an uncommon thing to see someone that like that, and especially in the situation.
And so young too.
So you had so many things, and like in that moment afterwards, like what was going through your mind? How do you feel? How do you feel now about those things?
Yeah, so at the time it was very bizarre. I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than I feel like I was so removed from it, like mentally, like I was there, but it was like I was sitting on the couch because obviously the police came, right? And I was covered in blood, of course, and I was sitting on the couch and I just remember everything was moving around and I was just so like it was like I could hear a ringing in my ears. And then I was taken to the police station and questioned, and I was so like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I didn't cry, and I remember hearing the police officer tell the other officer that she's not crying, and they thought it was really odd. But it was just because I didn't know how to freaking like deal with everything. I didn't know how to think about it, and this was after everything had happened with my parents. So the officer in Sherwood Park that was always called to my house was the same officer that was there at that time, and all he kept doing was telling me like it's gonna be okay, like I'm gonna get your family to come pick you up. But then they wanted to hold me in a hotel room because I guess because the guy that did it had ran out and ran away, they were looking for him. So we were all held in this hotel room together, and the last place you want to be when this is all happening is removed from like with the same people, and then removed from being able to call it your dad at 15 or whoever.
God, what a situation.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And after that, I really don't remember what happened, but the first time I did cry about it was a couple days later. I was eating like something like my like obviously dinner, and I had a knife, and I remember picking it up, and then I just completely broke down. And to this day, it's very odd. Like if there's a knife on the counter, like it makes me very uncomfortable. Like I need it to be away. Like it's a very tough thing.
Of course, even still now.
Still now, yeah. And it's also it was okay for a while, like dealing with it. Not okay, but it was just it didn't start to affect me until later on in my years. Like I still communicate with his mom, and I love their family so dearly, and it was still bothering me, and I would call her and it felt like it was yesterday, and she would tell me, Ashley, you need to deal with this. This was, 5 years ago. This happened in 2009 now. So, that many years ago, but to me, it just didn't feel that way. So I did CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. And then I did, this other, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's like a rapid eye movement. And I did this as of recently because it was really affecting me in the last couple of years. So I had to do that, and I felt relief with that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was the first therapy. I should send my parents the bill firstly, but I've spent lots of money on therapy, and I really do believe therapy is great. It just helps, and I still do it weekly.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So are you still doing that newer
Yeah,
one?
I would love to find out what that's called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I am still doing that. I've tried, I thought I had depression, anxiety. I've tried the meds. They made me worse. I don't have depression. It's okay to, what I also think, I'm just going to touch on this because I know medication is such a big thing nowadays. And, everybody's like, if you're not happy, you need a pill. I'm not of that mentality. I really do believe that we're just such in a consumerism, bizarre world nowadays where everybody, and I think it's due to social media too. Everybody has to be perfect. Your life has to be amazing. You're doing all these trips. It's all the great side of life, but there are emotions, and our human emotions do have benefits. Anger has a benefit because it helps you get motivated to change something. Sadness is important. All these emotions have a role, and they have an important role in our lives. And I feel like a lot of people, yeah, maybe you have mental health, and I completely agree. If you do, you need medication, but some of us just need to deal with human emotions and first and foremost deal with things that need to be dealt with. And there's other ways besides taking a pill. And my depression was just situational. Like if you're going through a nasty ass divorce with somebody who keeps taking you to court, I have to exchange my kids at the police station because I have a very abusive ex, and it was continuing throughout even when we separated. So I'm not going to feel happy about that. So if I have depression or something, it's because nobody goes through a divorce at 20 years old and goes through everything I went through. And of course you're going to be sad. I'm not going to be happy about that. Then I think I would be weird and I would need like a straight jacket or something.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I just feel that there's other methods and yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. I think that was so well said for so
Thank
many
you.
reasons.
Thanks.
And I agree, even I think medications and stuff have their place.
Totally.
Obviously,
Absolutely.
To everyone their own.
Yeah.
But even just mental well-being is that study just recently came out, and regular exercise alone, is better than like 50% of people, or is more effective on 50% of people taking SSRIs.
Yes.
Something to that degree. It's not, those numbers aren't exact.
We are not doctors. We're
not
just going to put that
doctors.
disclaimer
I'm
on
a
it.
personal trainer.
Seek
and
your
a
own
rapper.
medical advice.
Yes. But all it's saying is that exercise is so, like, we're just meant to move, we
I love to shake my ass.
She does. She does. But she also, you keep good care of yourself. You eat fairly clean.
I do.
You take lots of cool and interesting supplements.
I
you're
take a
one
lot.
to try things too, new things that you've heard.
Yeah.
You always send in some crazy things.
Yes.
Like, okay, what's she taking now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't possibly take any more vitamins. I mean, sometimes I'm joking with people and I'm like, I have 15 and they're like, well, you need this one. I'm like, man, I am capped out. Like, I can't swallow this much. Ha, that's what she said. Sorry. I had to. But dang, like I take like 15 vitamins a day. I've tried everything. My vitamins, I feel like when I don't take them, I feel different. So I know that whatever kind of concoction I've brewed up in my kitchen is working, because when I don't take them, I just don't feel as like with it,
Yeah, cool. And that's super dope, you know, especially that it doesn't, especially something like supplementation and stuff. It takes a while to figure out what things are working for you, what things don't work for you.
Yeah.
So kudos on you for, I know, vitamins. If I have one thing that I don't do very well, it's take my vitamins.
Well, it's hard to do it. Yeah. It's I mean, life is not linear. Like, we all think that it's just a straight line. No, it's okay. Like, I like to say it's, and I can't say this word, circular. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
So life is like this, it's constantly like this, and we can't get down on ourselves when we don't do something. Consistency is the hardest thing to do. Every day in our lives isn't going to be the same. It's not like, maybe some people can do this, but most can't. Like, you can't wake up at 6 o'clock every day and do all these things. Like, there's going to be some slips. We're human beings where we adjust, we live our lives. We just need to stop being so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
It's okay to have a day. If it's consistently like a number of days in a row, then we need to start wondering and making some evaluation onto why things aren't going so well for a long period of time.
Absolutely. And I think over the last, especially few months, just personally with some of the goals that I'm trying to achieve, it's like, I need to stop rushing things and start thinking about this in much longer terms, and then once I started getting into that mindset myself, obviously with weight loss goals and stuff, I always try to get people thinking longer term. But it's really like my focus now is like everything needs to be longer term, it's like the longer, and it's all the cliches. It's like what you do every day is what matters. The more consistent you can be. 1 or 2 days of slip ups. Like, even I was talking to my brother, and we're talking about missing the gym, and it's like how it's not a big deal week to week, but it's like even to extrapolate even more, if you look back on it, say you're working out for 3 years and you take 2 months off, it's like that's nothing compared to the 3 years of consistency.
Oh, totally.
And people get, even if you put on 10 pounds in that, or 20 pounds, that's insignificant to what, if you're training for 20 years to 40 years of your life, it's about thinking about things in much longer term. Having those small goals, that's what helps keep you motivated, I think, to your day to day, your week to week, your month to month. But it's like, if you can think about your goals over, and actually my one homie, we just went to the gym yesterday, and he was talking about this trainer who has this brand, and it's called PR, personal. Oh no, wait,
Dang.
PB, personal best.
Peanut butter jelly.
Maybe it's penis. I think maybe PB because it's about personal best, and
Okay.
like personal best in the gym, like going for your more weight on your bench or something.
Yeah.
But his whole brand is about take that and run with it. It's like, did you come to the gym more often this week?
Yeah.
Then that's a personal best. Did you spend 10 more minutes reading this month?
Yeah.
Great. That's a personal best. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like and then Alex Hormozy, who's a entrepreneur dude, he's even like, if the more things you measure, the more things you're aware and you keep track of, the more victories you can have too.
Totally.
And then that's all about, and then it kind of circles back to like, getting off of just consuming so much and just be present and
in the moment.
It's like the more there's so much, that's the thing with awareness too. It's like, once you become aware and aware of what you're doing, it's like you start to realize there's more awareness to have, like the
more you know, the more you don't know.
Exactly.
Dang,
like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I had this bad habit of whatever the fuck, or I can see myself getting into these negative mindset loops. So it's super dope.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And that's shout out Nipsey Hussle. I
God,
know you love Nipsey too. R.I.P.
Every time I do something amazing, I always put on victory lap.
Oh, me too. Whenever I'm in that's the album that like, okay, I have to overcome something. We put it on victory lap, we just fucking replay. That album was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
He's so good,
So good.
Just amazing.
Unfortunate.
But Lil Wayne, he's a lyrical genius.
Thank you.
I mean, so are you though, but you remind me, like, your flow is like a J. Cole, Nipsey, like, those guys,
Those are my dudes.
And Tupac is just, Tupac wins. Biggie or Tupac, it's Tupac all day long. And if you say different, I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
I understand people who are like, yeah, Biggie's dope, and I'm not trying to.
But he's not Pac.
But he's not.
Like, just listen to those words, like.
And it was just more of a.
I just love when he says, like, your body is banging, baby. Come and give it to daddy. I'm like, where daddy at? Daddy at?
You talk about him being all lyrical and stuff, and then that's the line you drop.
Just every time it gets me. It gets me in my feels, Sorry.
Oh my.
Sorry, not sorry.
God.
Is that what they say now?
I don't know what they're saying now. They're saying all kinds of shit.
They're saying a lot of shit. I hear it all from my kids,
Oh man, that must be another thing.
So
I guess we can get right into that now.
Yeah.
So how's life being a mom? So being a mom so young.
Oh yeah.
And maybe how it's changed to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I think one day I just kind of came to the realization that, like how I got into doing all this fun stuff with them was just every day. Because when you have these kids and you have like no guidance, you don't know what to do with them. I'm sorry to say, I'm just going to be brutally honest here. I'm like the type of person, like I'm a straight shooter. So, I'm not afraid to say things and I have no filter. And, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, I don't really want to be either. So I just want to be true to myself. So yeah, I didn't really know what to do. So I just kind of said to myself, I'm just going to try to do one thing a day with them because I just know that the best thing I can give them is my time. Oof. And because of that, now where we are today, like my oldest is going to be 13, my youngest is 11. I have the closest relationship with them. They honor me. Like my oldest always opens the car door for me. Like I didn't teach him that. Like just stuff like this, they tell me stuff. My oldest Ethan feels very comfortable. He's broke down in tears and it's weird. Like the first time he broke down in tears and I had no idea why. And he was just like, Mom, I'm in junior high. I'm really stressed out. And, I was just like really taken aback. Like all these things I'm learning and I'm growing with them. So, and I'm definitely not perfect by any means, but I just try to tell them, I tell them that this is funny. So I have the 3 S's and I'm like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, I got to go to my 3 S's. And no, one of them isn't sex. Okay, people? You dirty minds. It's sleep, snack, and shower.
I don't know of anyone, especially because you were talking about your kids right before.
I know. I know. Okay.
When you said it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think anyone was thinking that.
Yeah. So, like, anyway.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, no. Okay, so, yeah, he was upset, and I was like, you know what? I just always go back to the 3 S's, Ethan. I said, shower, snack, and I was like, dang, I forget the other third one. And then he goes, sleep? And I was like, yeah, you're so smart. I was like, thanks for, running with my my coaching here. So yeah, sleep, snack, shower, and you do those things, and you go to bed, and you wake up, and genuinely speaking, I would say about 80 to 90% of the time, you wake up the next day and you'll feel better.
Damn, that's a cool little tool to give to little homies.
Yeah, so he did those things, and he did wake up feeling better, and then I just want to always be an ear for him. And I'm not one of those parents that wants to shelter my kids, because I feel like if you confine them, they're going to want to, because I know personally I wanted to rebel even harder, and I just got more sneaky with it and smarter with it. I always tell people, I don't always tell people this, but I'm like a ninja. Like, I can see in the dark, and that's because I know how to fucking sneak out of a house and shit. Like, so I don't want my kids to be like that, like have bat vision, because they know how to get out of a house. It's very bizarre. I hope we cut that part out.
We can cut out any part. That's great. That was great.
So I just want them to be honest with me. Like, I tell them, if you wanted to have your first drink, not obviously at 13, but like, I would rather you do it with me, like things like this. Cool. So we have this honest to board conversation. If they ask me something, like I was eating a salad one day, and I was like, hey, we gotta get in the car. Let me just toss my salad. And they started laughing. And I was like, are they laughing because they know what that means? So I was like, hey guys, why are you laughing? And they said they heard it on YouTube. And then my youngest goes, Mom, what does that mean? And I was like, dang, I can't lie to the little guy. So I was like,
no.
I was like, here we go, birds and the bees. Okay, so basically,
so what did you tell them though?
So I was like, it's an inappropriate thing that 2 people do. Generally speaking, we should only do it if we love each other, and it's licking the butt. And,
straight
and then they go like, why would anyone want to do that? I was like, I don't know, man, it's wild. But
what a thing to have to tell it.
I know. It's fucking funny, but the other thing is they say the most funny things, these kids. Like, listen to this. This is hilarious. So my youngest, when he started it was last year, so it was grade 4, okay? He was like, I picked them up from school. I always say, how was your day? Tell me like one thing out of your day, a takeaway. Like, so my youngest goes, Mom, we got a new girl, and she eats her lunch before lunch, and she's not hungry all day. I think she's an alien. I was like, they all are, son. Like, it's just bizarre. These kids are.
Oh man, the mind of a child.
The mind of a child.
Oh my goodness. So I guess they're becoming teenagers slowly, hey?
Yeah, my oldest already is thinking he's a man. He's got all these hormones and stuff. I didn't realize that men or boys can be so hormonal. Like,
straight up, when that testosterone starts ramping up.
Dang.
He's gonna be prompt to get them gains.
Gains. No, he's already doing sit-ups every night. Like, he does like 20 sit-ups every night before he goes to bed.
Let's go.
Little money can do it,
Little money?
Little money.
Is that what you call him?
I guess so.
Little money, eh?
My little gangster boy, he just loves Drake and stuff. I actually took him when I took them back, because I went to Toronto during COVID, but I went to Niagara Falls and stayed there, and then I took them to go see Drake's house. Drake was actually there. He had security posted outside of his house and stuff, and then
Like, you drove by his house?
Yeah, I drove to his house.
Damn, was it actually sick?
Well, it's so gated that you can't really see it, but it definitely is. It's a sick home. But he had like security post outside and stuff like this, and we took photos and stuff. We walked by it like secret stalkers. It was I've never felt so weird in my life, because I've never actually stalked someone, so I was like walking by just straight staring like just a weirdo. And
that's
then
a crazy thing. That's a crazy place to actually go.
It was cool.
Damn, so they love it. So what about your other kid? What kind of music does he like?
They both, so they're into like Juice WRLD, and I was like, I don't even listen to that, and they're into.
That's pretty dope.
He sounds like Post Malone, man.
What?
To me, he sounds like Post Malone.
I guess they could be on a similar vibe.
Yeah,
I guess they could be on a similar vibe. I could see that. I fucks with Post Malone too, though.
I fucks with Post Malone. Posty be tight. Okay, you're supposed to be tight.
Have you heard his new stuff?
Oh yeah, I have. Circles, Chemical.
Oh yeah, Chemical and stuff is
So good.
He's
just a cool ass dude, man.
His interview. I mean, he doesn't do a ton of like interview. Did you see when he was on Joe Rogan?
Yes, I did listen to that.
That's a cool. I like when artists go on Joe Rogan.
I love Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan is
Joe Rogan, if you need a new guest, I will come.
I don't think everyone would.
I know. Everybody would come. Yeah.
It's crazy, actually. And that's one thing that, because you were talking about how you feel you like the real estate game.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned since started podcasting, how dope the community of the podcasters are.
Is it?
Oh, it's so, with like personal training and with, especially with music stuff, there's so much competition, like people it's the industries, obviously. It's just obviously it's just how it is. There's a lot of great people, a lot of collaborative people in both of those spaces, but we're talking just in general, people aren't super open as they are with podcasting. Everyone wants to be on your podcast, be on each other's podcast. Mm-hmm. Everyone's shouting each other out and stuff. I was like, oh, this is a different it's like, because podcasting is still new, it's very obviously it's popular now, but it's still so new compared to other forms of, and it stems from radio and whatever have you, but it's like it's still so new, and it just benefits everybody if they have podcasting, because it introduces people to podcasting. Like so many people don't listen to any podcasts.
Really? Oh my gosh, I listened to so many. I couldn't imagine.
And even I think maybe my mom, for instance, she's only been listening to podcasts for a couple of months, Because
of you, probably, right?
Theo Vaughn, actually. She loves Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn. Oh my gosh, that guy is hilarious.
So funny. I went and saw him when he came here.
Jealous.
It's because it was
Theo Vaughn's the shit.
It was that outdoor comedy thing.
Yeah.
So, and I said it before, it was one of the best comedy events I've ever been to. It was so well done.
Yeah.
It's so cool to be, down in that Kinsman Park.
Yes.
And it's like the stage looks over the downtown. Yeah. It's a cool spot in the River Valley to have the comedy show.
That's sick.
And then there's thousands of people.
Yeah,
there. I think they said 10,000, 15,000. And how easy it was to get in and leave relatively. Yeah. I was like, man, y'all killed this. Yeah. People don't realize how hard of an event that is to put on.
Oh, totally.
And you know about events.
I do know about events. Yeah.
And then Theo Vaughn murdered it.
Yeah.
He brought on there was a couple opening acts and they were great too, but Theo Vaughn came on, and you're like, damn, this guy is just so good at comedy.
He is. He's genuine too. He's a real straight shooter. I like people like that, down to earth. I think sometimes people can let money and just their ego get the best of them, and I think ego is one of the worst emotions that we have, to be honest. I think it's awful. Yeah.
And it's part of it. It's awful, and it's great too when used correctly, because it's like self-perseverance perseverance. Yeah. is where ego comes from.
Yeah.
However, it's very hard to operate that in society, especially when you have issues dealing with being wrong, which so many people do, or making a mistake, which so many people do, not willing to take the blame, which so many people do. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means, but it's like, I'll be wrong. I got no problems because one of the biggest things that prevented me from starting a podcast initially was saying something stupid on the internet,
Yeah, no, I definitely had that thought too when I was when we were talking about doing this. I was like, well, what if people, and it's just like, what if you just like yourself? What if you just do you, boo-boo? I'm just so tired of worrying about what people think. And honestly, I feel like the worst part about it is that we're all so self-consumed and busy thinking about ourselves that nobody's really thinking about us like we think. And that's the biggest drawback, And the other thing is lions don't need to roar to tell you they're a lion. So I don't like sitting in a room where people are just like, oh, guess what I did? Guess who I am? And it's like, dang, like I just sit there in silence because, you know, I know who the fuck I am. I don't need to tell you. And if you don't know who the fuck I am, recollect.
That was actually, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
A lion doesn't have to roar for you to know it's a lion.
Yeah.
That's one of the craziest. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah. So I don't even like feel the need to tell people, you know, I've had people judge me and I just got so tired of explaining and trying to tell people, oh, this is what I am, this is my resume. It's like, dang, like who am I doing that for?
Of course.
I don't really care. You can love me or you can hate me. You know, at the end of the day, like I'm not out here trying to be anybody I'm not, and I'm not out here trying to be mean to anybody. Like I really do have a genuine heart. And if you don't know that, like I feel like when people don't like you, man, it comes from a self-projecting place. Like they're not liking me because they probably see something in me that they don't have. And you know what? I am not trying to do anybody wrong. So if you don't like me, it sucks because honestly, I want everyone to like me.
Of course.
You know, but at the end of the day, that's just not reality, and I live in the reality.
100%. And that's probably why we get along so well, you know. It's like I love authenticity. That's my that's just like let's just be real. Even if you a dick, bro, as long as if that's really authentically you, which some people are, some people just assholes, you know. And it's like
but
I
why
might not,
you know,
and I might not be hanging with you all the time, but I appreciate you showing me your real colors, you know. It's like I don't have to guess that you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Yeah, that's sometimes why I like some women when they're like, if some women are just like bitches, you know, they're just like, but I love them because I know I did say it, but you know what, I like that. Like I had one friend, I'm not gonna obviously blast names and shit, but she was just a real bitch, but I loved her for it because guess what, she was who she is. I knew that she wasn't the type of person that was gonna be talking behind my back because she would just fucking say it to my face. And that was cool because, you know, at the end of the day, the worst type of people are the ones that are nice to your face and you know they're talking behind your back or doing shit. It's like I would just rather you do it up front. Yeah. You know, and I'm the same way. Like if I have a problem with you, I will tell you because at this point in my life, I just have no more energy to hurt myself, and that's all that it does. It's like if you're holding something in, it's just only hurting you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's just say it. You know, like there's so much that's like stuck in the unsaid. You know, just say it because at the end of the day, it's so much worth it. I know it's uncomfortable. We don't like being uncomfortable. It sucks, but there's nothing to grow from in the comfort, in the comfortable, in the, you know, that zone that you just don't leave. You need to step out. Yeah. Yeah.
And often and that's why I do those the fasting and the hard training. It's like, man, you get nothing from going and it all depends where you're starting from, obviously, but it's like you constantly need to be growing because if you're not growing, you're dying, you know? And it's like, bruh, it's like when you're, and it comes from a psychological standpoint too, because it's like, if you're not learning, what it's going to do is not keep you where you're at. You're going to downgrade, you know?
So true.
It's really about... It's like, even if you want to maintain, you have to be pushing forward. And then if you want to push forward, you got to be giving it, you know, in all that you do. Because our bodies are just not meant to be the same.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like the clock is constantly running, you know, whether or not you decide to stay. And I have done this. I've been in bad places, dark places, man. Like, you know, and that's, I think, another reason why I feel so better now because I've got out of that. And I just remember being so depressed. Like I could not get out of bed. Like I've never been so tired, just feeling awful and down. And, you know, there's nothing, the days still went on and they were being wasted. And, you know, to get out of bed and just, I just, like I always tell people this, if you're feeling depressed and you can't get out of bed, just don't even overthink everything. Because when you're thinking about everything, you can't think at all. And then the overthinking it all and thinking about all the things that need to be done actually demotivates you even more because then you just don't know where to start. So for me, there's like a fluffy floating around. Sorry, guys. I always tell people, like, for me, it was, okay, I would lay there and I'd say, okay, Ashley, if we could, dang.
I know they probably can't see that at all.
No, you guys can't, but it's like this weird thing.
I was like watching it as you were talking. I was like, it's gonna go in front of my face.
So I just would say, you know, get out of bed. That's step one. So you get out of bed, you get moving. Like even if I had to go just downstairs for a minute, and then it's like, okay, wow, I have dishes. Well, why don't I just again go back to my 3 S's? So I would like shower, and showering just makes you feel so much better for some reason. Even a cold shower, guys, like cold showers are really awesome. Just kind of gives you that like jolt. And then you just yeah, I love cold showers. Yeah, dang. So, and then just do one more thing, and then after when you find you can like get dressed, get showered, then you start to move, those wheels start to turn, and it's like sometimes even cleaning can be a lot, but then I start with my room, or I start with one space, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do the bathroom. Then you've accomplished that and it feels good, so then by the time you know it, you keep going, and then you're like, dang, like it feels really good, like if I can just keep doing it, then you go back to the same place again, and you have to redo it all over again. But you just have to start somewhere.
And that's facts. And that's
yeah.
Dr. Jordan Peterson, familiar with?
Love him. Yes.
He wrote the book 12 Steps. 12 what?
Wow, I missed my mouth. That was really attractive.
That's what we like to see. 12 Rules of Life. And then he wrote it.
Oh, what are the 12 rules for life?
Oh, they're great.
Since we're on the topic.
They're great. It's like Rule 1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Rule 2, treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Rule 3, make friends with people who want the best for you. But there was one specifically where maybe it's in his because he wrote another. So actually, where this came from is he wrote, because he's a psychologist.
Yeah.
Psychologist. I always get psychologist and psychiatrist.
Psychiatrists got the drugs.
Oh, so okay. So
yeah, psychologists don't do drugs, or well, they could do drugs, but they don't give them. They don't share.
So he made a post on Quora, the one. It's kind of like a Reddit kind of thing. It's a question and answer
I've never
thing.
heard of that, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's like just one of the other ones,
Yeah.
And it went super viral. It was like 42 rules of life from a psychologist.
Okay.
And so these 42 rules blew up. And so then what he ended up doing was he wrote 12 rules for life, and then he just a couple of years ago he wrote another one called 12 more rules for life. And so he took the 24 top rules and he expanded them into these books. And essentially, it might have been, like one of them is be precise with your speech, tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Like, they're just little things. And then he backs it up, obviously, with a bunch of studies and then little things in his practice.
Yeah.
And really, really great book. Some of the most life-changing books that I ever read. But he talks about, I can't remember if it's this book or the other book, but it's like, you need to be aiming for something. You need to be, and it can be anything. It can be anything, but it's got to be yourself in the future doing something better.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you get there? And he's like, what happens to a lot of people is they aim high, which is great.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh shit, like that's going to take a lot. And it is the sheer fact of how big the gap is that it's like, man, this is going to take forever. I'm not even going to get started. And what his whole thing is, if you're trying to clean up your say your bedroom is super dirty and you're trying to clean your whole bedroom, just pick up a pair of socks first. It's like start, honestly, like when it comes to, and this is how I started doing everything, was have your goal and have it as big and as whatever the fuck you want,
It has to be big, size does matter. Nobody wants a little ice cream. I'm just saying, okay?
Oh my God. Little ice cream, eh?
No one wants just a little ice cream.
But true, and I'm a big believer in the
that size does matter.
Well, that's not what I said.
Sorry,
that's not what I said.
I'll let you continue.
It's just the concept of lowering your ego. Really, it's like, oh, so are you above just picking up socks for your daily task today, or do you feel like you're better than that? Well, it's like you haven't picked up your socks yet, so how can you say you're better than that? It's like bring yourself down, fucking
humble.
Exactly.
Bitch,
like,
be humble. Who says that?
Kendrick Lamar. Come on.
Dang.
The greatest of all time.
Hey. I don't know if he's the greatest.
He's my GOAT.
Yeah.
He's my GOAT. I don't know if he's the greatest of all time, but I do.
You're the greatest of all time, remember?
That's right. That's right.
I got you.
This is why we home.
This is why we're home.
This is why
We hype each other up. Our hype game is on
true.
point.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It is true. And so it's just that, you know, it's like, man, you can have these huge goals, but it's like, man, you got to do that little, start with the little tiniest bullshit, pick up your socks, then go pick up all the socks, then pick up all your clothes, then pick up all your clothes, make your bed, you know, and then within a couple of days, you're much further from where you started than where you are, even though you got a fucking marathon to go, a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think also what's important is that an accomplishment is an accomplishment.
Oh.
I think we get so hung up on what our idea of accomplishing is that we forget that every little thing that we do throughout the day, and that's why I actually really love to use my notes now. And I've learned our notes in our iPhones, if you're an iPhone person, are so like amazing. Like you can put little pictures in there and stuff. Oh my god. So I like those little bubbles, and you can click it and it'll put a check mark in.
Oh yeah.
So any like put them all in a list, and just it's so satisfying like to do that. And it's just no task is too small. No accomplishment is too small. I think we just get so hung up on the idea of how things should be that we forget to live in, again, the reality.
Yeah.
We're always like, it's like when you're in a relationship, you know, being in a relationship is really scary. And I feel like being in a relationship, you think when you're alone, like you have all this going and everything like that. And then you get into a relationship with somebody, and then it brings all your insecurities to the surface. And all these things you learn about yourself, and you're like, damn, I didn't know like I was needy. I didn't know I was like this, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, where was I going with that? Lost my train of thinking.
That's okay, because we're talking about many things.
I know.
We're talking about goals, realistically.
Oh, yes,
you
yes.
know? And I think you were just getting into
the accomplishing, and no, nothing is too small, I guess. Yeah.
And then I think you're talking about how relationships just kind of mirror and show you who you really are.
They do,
and
yeah.
it's like you can have some bullshit up in you, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, again, and then touching on, you know, the way that things should be, and they're not like that, you know. I think we need to, and I learned this in church actually this past Sunday, I think it's important to understand that if we honor people, they can rise to the occasion rather than fall to our expectations. I think, you know, we have to understand that people are so different that rather than being a martyr, like bitching at somebody constantly or expecting them to do something, we just really need to meet people where they are and just understand that the way that we envision things isn't going to be the way that they are. It just, our minds are just amazing things, and because of how we came from, you know, the caveman days and things like that, where we needed to be accepted, these are the reasons that we feel these things. And when I went to CBT therapy, I learned that the reason that we just have this incessional, is that the word? Dang, I'm just trying to sound all smart, you guys, and I don't know these words.
I think that's right.
Yeah, need to be accepted and need to do all these things, but that's because our brains haven't really evolved since then. Like they've of course gotten better, but they're still the brain. Like you know, the brain is what it is. So these things were to keep us alive, because we needed to be accepted by our tribe. We needed these things. So the way that you're gonna think of things in your mind, maybe just open up your mind. And I'm a victim of this too. Like you know, I'm guilty of it, not a victim, but we need to understand. We ain't victims. We need to understand that the way we think of things isn't going to necessarily be how they are. And we just have to be more in the acceptance of the way that things actually are and the reality of it.
Yeah. 100%. And it can be as little as, you know, people often ask, it's like, Jay, you're pretty chilling, bro. I mean, I'm high energy, but I'm pretty chilling, you know?
Yeah.
And
you are.
Thank you.
You're like one of the most positive people I know, honestly. This guy right here, dang.
It's like, man, and I mean, it's because it's like, obviously I love Bob Marley. He's like the biggest influence of my being, you know? And, damn, where was I going with this?
I'm so sorry.
No. Shit, what was I just going to say? This happened.
I'm sorry, I'm the last person to ask right now.
No, I was like, this is what happens in these long conversations, which I also am starting to realize. When you record these conversations for, you know, 2-3 hours, you start to realize like the
path that it takes.
Yeah, like the flows of the conversations. You're like, oh yeah, it's okay to have breaks and forget these happen. This is what natural conversation is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool. One of the things I think is cool too that I'm doing is I'll have these conversations like, you know, you're always more than welcome to come do another podcast and stuff, you know. But it's like I also have like when someone like you or my brother or someone, I'll have these conversations. You disappear.
Wow.
You're back. You're back.
Wow, I just kind of like, I was like that superhero, like, you know, the
Oh,
one.
I do. Freaking.
Yeah.
I'm not good with the superhero names, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll have these just personally as much as I'll. and honestly, this is way better than it's been. If you're just listening and you're not watching, she's disappearing in the video.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot people might be listening, not watching.
Yeah, and so we do based on the numbers, it's really about, now it seems that about a quarter of the people watch and about 75% of people listen.
Well, okay, just a little funny, just while you said quarter, this is again another airhead moment. About, I would say, probably 7 or 8 years ago, before I disappear again, I didn't realize, you guys, that those quarters are because it's a quarter of a dollar.
Bruh.
So I remember my dad was like giving my kids some change, and he goes, "Oh, so you know why it's a quarter?" And I was like, "Dang, I don't know either. Like, why don't you fill us all in, Dad?"
Bruh.
And then he goes, "Really? Are you joking, Ashley?" I was like, "No." He's like, "It's a quarter of a dollar. There are 4 quarters to make one whole." I was like, "Dang, I didn't know that." Wow.
This is the guac situation.
This is the guac situation all over again. Sometimes, you know, to be in all honesty, I don't remember any teachers telling me that, and also I don't think I fucking thought about it too thoroughly there.
That's fair. Something, I mean,
know?
we all do. I can't think of something about myself because I'm a genius. No.
Yeah, of course you are.
No. But we all have these.
Just genius.
Just genius. Yo, we might have to make that
Hashtag,
t-shirt.
yeah.
I still love that.
I'll just be rolling up next time with just genius.
That's right, yo. Actually, shut up. Is this your shirt?
Oh, yeah. So I'll just stand
You
up.
can stand up.
Let's give
Yeah. Let's see.
dang.
Oh.
So it says my name. Oh, I don't know. It's all opposite.
That's
Fuck,
okay.
you do it.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay, you stand in front.
Okay.
There we go.
So it says Ashley best ever. Let's make it happen. Realtor, and then it's got Ashley sells real estate. Ashley Realty.
That's sick,
What
yo.
else does it say? Oh, your homegirl's there. Dang.
Yeah,
Your
let's
homegirl's
go.
there.
That's sick. That's a
Yeah.
dope design.
Yeah. Thank you. I got it on Amazon.
What?
Fuck, I need to be shut off of Amazon because
Amazon
I'd be
is
ordering
crazy.
Amazon Prime.
And it's
I
only
used to be
getting
drinking
crazier.
wine and ordering Prime, you know?
That's got to be on a t-shirt somewhere.
Dang, right?
If it's not,
Yeah.
if you
Drinking those quarantinis.
What the fuck?
Hey, don't lie, you all did it, okay? We all were drinking those quarantinis. I came up with that name too.
That was one thing. During the pandemic, that was one time my drinking game was much higher.
My everything game was much higher, but let me tell you what wasn't higher, okay? So we're all over the place, but this is awesome. So my kids are like the super snoopers, I call them. Like they will snoop through my room. So dang, you know, like a woman's got to eat. You know what I'm saying? So needless to say, they were snooping in my room, and this is like TMI, you guys, but I had like this massager thing, and it was shaped like an egg. And that's all I'll say.
Massage.
So I told my kids that it was a neck massager. So, and this was during like fucking COVID. So like there was nothing else to do. And I was downstairs doing something. And I came upstairs and my son's laying in his bed with my massager on his back reading a book. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just using your massager." I was like, "Oh, taco. That's cool." So anyways, needless to say, because of that, I do not have a goodie drawer because my kids snoop through everything. So there's just a lot not happening. Let's just say that much. There is not much happening in my life.
Holy.
Yeah, because I just can't have that happen. Like,
Of course. The fact that it happened once must have.
so all I have is candies and a book and some chargers in my drawer, you guys.
Oh, the awkward. Well, last time I did this podcast, I was telling about how I worked Pride.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
don't know if I
that's a
ever told
wild.
you.
No, tell me, please.
I was a bartender at the time at Starlight Room, and
Starlight Room. Why do I feel like I
music
know?
venue.
Oh,
downtown. Yeah. So I worked there because it was a music venue, and I was actually personal training, but on the weekends I would
You'd be
go,
doing your rap game.
Yeah. Well, I would bartend.
You got bars.
Do
Do you spit bars?
Sometimes.
Like the whitest person. Spit bars, you know?
And so they and that's like, you know, maybe a couple months after I competed, so I was shredding, you know.
Why do I only keep going away?
Last time it was me.
Oh, was it?
Last time
Okay.
it was me. Every time. It's getting better, but eventually.
No, I love it. This backdrop is sick. Sorry. Okay, I'm cutting you off, and I apologize.
No worries. And so anyway, so I'm working. So I'm wearing these like fucking skin tight, you know,
Yeah, you
competition
are.
shorts.
Yeah.
And no shirt, but they made me duct tape my nipples. I don't think
Why
I
didn't you just
told.
wear pasties?
Wow. It's not like I knew in the game. I wasn't
You should
aware
have
of
hit me
the
up.
fucking. Yeah, pasties was one thing that I had no idea even about, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was a. Yeah, I was talking about how these games.
Why would they want you to tape your nipples? Why?
That was one
What
thing.
happened to free the nipple movement?
That was way before that. That was actually before I even knew you, because I was still at World Health back then.
Oh,
So this was like
World
I was
Health.
like 19, 20 maybe, you know.
Oh, little
Maybe
baby
not.
Jordan.
Little
Baby JusJrdn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cute AF. Just a cute little Jordan, you know.
My dreads were a little bit shorter back then.
Oh yeah?
A little bit shorter back then. They're hella long now.
I'm so envious of your hair, man. Like, I pay for this hair, you guys. This is not all mine.
This is freaking.
Shout out to whoever donated. No, not donated, because I did buy it, but you know what I mean.
I mean, kind of. Your head does look nice though.
Thank you. Yeah, I have definitely a weave in here because I have just such thin hair, and yeah, because I'm also red haired, it's a whole different hair thing, you know? Yeah, being red haired is just, you know, I love it now and I embrace it now, but you know how like South Park fucked us all over, you know?
You blame it
I
on
got kicked.
South Park.
Well, yeah, because they came up with Kick a Ginger Day, so I got kicked in the ass by some fucking grade 12er when I was in grade 9. It was brutal. I didn't even realize I was redhead then, and then they kicked me. So then they said, you know, the no soul thing. I don't know.
My goodness. Kids
Yeah.
are savage though.
They are, yeah.
Are savage.
Yeah,
Kick
but
it
now
down.
I love being a red hair because I
That's it.
feel so exotic and different, and I really do like to be different. I don't want to all the girls be looking the same, and they look beautiful.
true.
I'm not hating on anyone, but you know, when everyone's getting tattoos, like I don't have a tattoo. Like I just want to be an individual.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
That's cool. And one thing
Yeah.
I gotta say about you that I really like too is your style.
Yeah.
I always think
Thank
you
you.
have some of the dopest fits, you know?
Yeah.
Some of your fits go fucking
Insane.
crazy.
Yeah, my 30th outfit, my 30th birthday outfit, that's pink top. I was doing a little bit of the underboob situation and it was like tied around. It was a midriff and I wore jeans. Yeah, that was really hot. I really love to be like sexy, but in like a different way. Like for me, it's like I'm not gonna just let it all hang out. Like if I'm showing cleavage, I'm probably not gonna show my legs. You know, like and even with my professional outfits, I love to just have like a little bit of something, you know. I really love to be a woman. I think
That's cool.
women. Oh, we're
What
both
the
gone.
fuck?
Because we gotta put that
All
in.
right,
Right,
so sorry about that technical issue, but we back and running now. We were talking about her being sexy.
yeah. Love it, love it. Yeah, no. So like I said, I wouldn't want to let it all hang out, but I love being a woman. I think femininity is amazing. I appreciate people. I feel like if you dress well, you feel better.
Word.
And then you act better. So when I used to train sales classes back in the day when I was a recruiter for a sales company, I would always tell people to dress in suits because we were in a business like professional environment, and when they wore suits they just acted differently. And because it was sales and recruitment and stuff, it was often a lot of guys that came out of the oil field or like rougher people in general, so just that switch on them just made them so different. So I really feel that there's something to be said about how we dress and how we present ourselves to the world.
That's cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
there is a reference a lot of psychology.
No, I
stuff.
love it.
I read a lot of psychology stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how clothing is an interesting part of humanity. You know,
Yeah.
clothing is something that is distinctly human.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah, because I ain't seen no deer running with pants lately. You know,
Yes,
Jordan?
yeah, I guess I didn't have to emphasize it so much. You heard too, right? Other
I'm
than
just
people
kidding.
who dress their dogs and stuff.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, yeah. Which I'm not saying is bad.
Yeah.
But but they were saying that it does have such an impact. Like literally, what you put on, you become
Yes,
subconsciously.
yeah.
Like your mind, because it's like you put on these costumes. It's like any outfit you can just consider it as a costume.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what's also odd? Sorry to cut you off
No.
if you were keeping going, but what's really odd is it's actually almost sexier to be wearing something. Like, let's just think about lingerie in general. Or just like, you know, how Jay-Z says, just like pulling the panties to the side, you know? Like, I'm sorry.
The rap lines that you
I
reference.
know. I know, I'm kind of a pervert. It's just wild because, you know, like, yeah, naked is awesome. Like, dang, like, you know, dang.
Yeah, I agree.
Nudity is, but but it's just like I would rather, you know, not that I don't float the other way personally speaking, but a woman in lingerie, like I would imagine bending her over better than bending a nude one over. I don't know.
I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, like it's just sexy.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I always liked fashion, obviously, especially hip hop. Like, you know, it's like that's the streetwear. But it's like as I've gotten older and as I've, you know, been more attached to music and art, and it's like, damn, it's like you someone who can put together a really dope outfit. It's like people would, because it's just like anything. There's fashion, which is what everyone else is doing, and then there's style and real style. That's your personal voice that you're using with your outfit. It's like not only do you have a collection of things maybe people don't have, but it's the way that you're presented when you're wearing those things. For sure. You know,
and for me it's like it's kind of like an obsession almost, because I get an idea of an outfit in my mind and I just have to like put it together. So I just ordered, and it's coming on Wednesday. I ordered this beige and black dress. I'm gonna wear it out with Boo, and then I have these black tights that have like a line up the back of the leg.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna wear my Christian Louboutin Pagals, which is like super high heel, black, red. Like it's just gonna, like I just get it in my mind and I have to put it together. And so sick. Like it's got like you'll see. I'll post a picture on Snap. So it's just a super sick outfit. I just love it.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and you dress sexy, you dress business wise, but it's just like I like you have a dope style, just in all, like, you know. And it's like I think it's I might not necessarily dress up like, you know, this is almost as fancy as I get,
but I love your style. Like even when you were wearing the toga, like this is just who you are. I just feel like it's so much appreciation to somebody that you have your style, I have mine, they have theirs, like, and I just appreciate it because at the end of the day it's like self-expression.
100%, you know. And I think that's what's so cool, and that's one thing I really like about the fashion thing, for sure. But even before we wrap up, we've been going for a while, which is sick. One thing I definitely wanted to talk on was your beliefs. And I know you're pretty religious now and everything, but have you always been that way, or was there something that kind of got you more into it?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good question. So I grew up in going to a Catholic school, and then when I got in too much trouble, my dad put me in a Christian academy.
Oh.
Gosh, I was driven home like almost every day to change my outfit because we had like a strict dress code and
of course,
a uniform as well and stuff. But then no, I always had God in my heart, and I always, like, when I went through tough times, I thought of him and I would pray and stuff. But no, I dove deep into it when I was going through my divorce and stuff. My kids were very young, and I saw an event because this comes back to when I started doing one thing a day with them. So I was always looking for things, and it's amazing what you can find. Like now, of course, like I'm in a different place, like I have money and stuff like that. But when I didn't, there's so much free stuff to do. Like if you just research and Google, like there's so many events. So I saw this event for a church. It was a petting zoo. It was on Easter.
Oh, okay.
And I went to my church that I go to now. I'm gonna shout out, not that like I've been talking about a lot of wild stuff, so maybe I shouldn't. But Church out South Edmonton, what up?
What's up, Church of South Edmonton?
Church at South Edmonton. That's my church. So I saw this event and I went there and I took my kids there, and then it was like I was meant to be there, meant to be led there. Wow. And I tell you guys, like I've been to churches, but this church, like the presence, the family, the community it's just amazing. Like I just feel like so, like it's like a staycation when I'm there. Like it's just like an escape. I just love to like worship and be in that environment, and the people are so awesome, and it's good morals and value. It's not really about, there's so much bad stuff when it comes to religion, but at the end of the day, you guys, like religion's not doing any of that stuff. That's people. You know, people are bad. There's good and bad people everywhere, in the church, in the not church, you know, everywhere. So I just think that if you just find that place in your heart where you can just understand that there's so much good, like, you know, we don't know anything at the end of the day, and everything's really created by people, but something had to have put us here, and there is a higher something, and you can't deny that. And I just think there's something to be said about just taking a step back out of your ego and just worshiping and giving, giving of yourself.
Word. And I think that's so dope.
Yeah.
I think that's so dope. And it's like I talk about God and stuff in some of my songs, but
Yeah. Yes, you do. I listen to your music. Booties, basketballs, and fathers. All the things I know that bounce.
Shit! Oh my god! Well, that's the first song. Damn! That's I always especially because I work on so much music. I mean, I got an album coming out.
Yeah.
I got an Olympus, then I got the fucking Olympus 2, which is coming out, and then I'm actually working. I don't know if you know, I'm working on an EDM album right now too. It's called Mr. J and the Heartbroken Homies.
Love that.
It's gonna be fucking. It's just I don't know. I like to do all kinds of things. So switch it up for a little bit. Drop 2 rap albums. Drop this.
You got to.
They
all do it. Like they all switch it up. Like the best ones all switch it up. They don't just stay in one lane.
It's because
you got to experiment to see your vibe.
And that's what it's all about. Why did I even bring that? Oh, because you rap. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was rapping.
The first song I ever dropped, Bounce.
Yeah, Bounce.
That's wild. I always, there'll be like times where I go back and listen to the old music that I've put out.
The old J.
And it's like and it's cool because it's like, that's the one thing I think personally about releasing music is cool, because it's like you get to see where I was at, not only skill and experience wise, but just what my mindset was writing those songs. Because I write about my own life. I write about so it's like, oh, you were obviously going through some shit during these times. And now it's like, I got songs like Chasing a Feeling, Sending Positive Vibes. It's just like, a little bit. Wow. And then I got my biggest track, which is Warrior. That's the one freaking.
Yeah. The other thing that's important, like you said about your words and how you write stuff, I think it's also important that we don't speak negative, what we say, again, back to law of attraction and just feeling positive and stuff like this. Like spelling I feel like it spells, whatever you say, you're casting, you're putting out there. So, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm so dumb, or we say these things, but we're putting that out there. So I just think we should be more cautious of what we say, and how we think, but again, what we say also. We should always speak, because, a lot of the rappers that have died, like Snoop Dogg was talking about this, they, what was Biggie Smalls' last album, Life After Death? What was Tupac talking about? He was talking about, people killing him or shooting, all these things. What was Snoop Dogg talking about? Fucking life, go living the best, so it's just, is there something to be said about that? I don't know. You can decide for yourself, but I really think that we should be really cautious of what we're putting out into the universe.
And I agree. Even I'm big into Stoicism.
What is Stoicism?
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Stoicism is a belief system that developed during the Roman. Let me just pull this. An ancient Greek school of philosophy founded at Athens by Zeno. The school taught that virtues, the highest good, is based on knowledge. The wise live in harmony with the divine reason. It governs nature. It's it's really about just taking things for what they are, and
back to that reality stuff, just not taking it as we think. We always want what we think it's supposed to be like, but it's just Stoicism. It's what it is.
And that's exactly. And so this is one thing
we're really intertwining all of our shit here now. A lot of these
conversations, they end up wrapping themselves up. And this is why I was wearing togas and stuff. I got so into the Greek philosophy, and down the one book I read every day is called The Daily Stoic, and it's a bunch of it's a bunch of writings from different philosophers of the time. One of the main people is Marcus Aurelius, is what his name was. He was one of the rulers of Rome.
Big Daddy. Love those big daddies.
When Rome was ruling he was super young.
Why do I say stuff like that?
It's like it doesn't even. I expect these.
I know it doesn't even. It doesn't faze you now.
I'm like, this is just conversation with you. But I say all of this. To say Marcus Aurelius has a quote, and he says, sorry, before I even
No,
say
that's
the
okay.
quote, Marcus Aurelius, the teachings that he have, that you read in a lot of the books. Actually, I believe Brandon even has the book over there. And
Shout out Brandon.
shout out Brandon. We literally film in his bedroom.
Yeah, love it.
And so he has a book of his meditations of Marcus Aurelius. And what's interesting is this book was never supposed to go out. This was actually just his personal journals. But
imagine having your diary leaked.
Dang. But why it was so dope is because he had all these insightful things. And one of the things he says in the book, in his meditation, was never be complaining, not even to yourself.
So true.
You know,
it always can be worse. You know, we get so caught up in this first world, and I'm so guilty of this sometimes. I'm like, woe is me, you know, like, wah, princess, like, and when at the end of the day, like, it's never that bad, you know, you guys, like, there's people that are in countries that are just, you know, they're just hoping and praying for a glass of water or something to eat, and you know, we're just so overprivileged, it's almost disgusting. And I'm trying to do this more and more as I go, like, to be more humble. Oh, I didn't even know I was gone.
There you go. Sorry.
I just want to be so humble, and I honestly just want to give out love. I want to be more realistic and live in the reality. You know, I think the TV and all these weird shows and stuff has really changed our perspectives of what people are like. And at the end of the day, I just think more people need more love, and more people need to just be who they are. You know, I don't always like myself. I'm really hard on myself, and I'm always thinking like, oh my gosh, what did they think about me? Or, oh, I just said that, and I ruminate. But you know what? Like, at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. And Sandhu, I follow this Sandhu. I can't remember. I don't want to butcher his name, but he's an amazing person I follow on Instagram. He's kind of like one of those, like, very good. I don't know what you would call him, so I don't really want to say. But but he says, you know, why are we so consumed in worrying about other people and how they're acting and what they're doing? You know, like, why are you letting that person affect you? Like, all we can do is be me. Like, you can be that way. Yeah. 100%. Why would I allow you to get me upset and mad? Like, I'm here, you're you. You know, I'm not going to let that in. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to allow you to have such control over me. Isn't that the ultimate slavery?
Yeah. And that's one thing to be said about personal sovereignty. You know, it's like when for instance, if somebody makes you mad, they won. Totally. You know, and it's like,
and it's easier said than done, you guys. Trust me.
And this is why I meditate, and this is why to have a more. And it's like we all slip up with you know, my and I've talked about this on the podcast quite a bit. My biggest thing with dealing with conflict is I shut down. You know, I don't get mad because I don't want to get mad.
No.
I don't want to say something. So then I do
avoiding.
I do the exact opposite, which also isn't good.
No.
You know, it's bad in a different way. I might not hurt someone's feelings by saying like fuck you or something. Yeah. You know, because
this cup is so big.
I often it's cause freaking when Ella was on this podcast last week, they drank 4 of these.
That's wild. I love mason jars. This is real talk. Like, mason jars be everything. You know, this is off topic, but if you guys put like berries in these mason jars and close it, your berries will last like double the time.
For real?
Yo, yeah. Because I was tired of like my produce all going. No, well, some, like, if you have celery sticks. I love celery sticks. You would put them in here with water.
Did you take that?
No.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm ghosting. I'm screening my calls. I'm just kidding. That's so bad. No, guys, I always answer my phone in 1 minute. 60 seconds.
I screen the calls. I screen my own calls for sure.
Yeah.
You gotta be. I ain't got time to be talking on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
I'm doing podcasts.
We're doing podcasts here.
Podcasts. That being said, my entire morning was on the phone with people. So
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have to be on the phone quite a bit. But you know, very cool. We talked about quite a few different things.
Yeah.
And we got in it. We had some laughs.
Yeah.
we did quite a bit of this. Is there anything else you want to say? What's the best way to get a hold of you? All
Yeah,
that
I mean,
stuff?
if you want to follow me, Ashley Realty Yag. That's my
I'll make
Instagram
sure
handle.
we put
Yeah.
it in the descriptions everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, if you can't get a hold of me, there's probably a reason.
Ah, that's true.
No,
Too.
I'm
That's
just
real.
kidding.
But that's real.
No,
But
you're
if you
totally
want a
in.
house, you want a home.
Yeah, I'm your gal. Honestly, I'm here for anybody. If you listen to this and you have some deep shit going on, maybe you can relate to me in some way, or I love to help people. I had this guy from Shaw like a couple years ago contact me. He was in a tough spot. He needed a referral, and I wrote it up no problem. And he was like, "Wow, like that you would just do that." Like I didn't even really know him, right? But no, I'm always willing to help. I feel like givers gain, like not to be selfish, but what we give out, we give back. So I'm always happy to help anybody if I can.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
good.
I'm there for anyone. I know what it's like to be alone and to have nobody, and that's no one deserves that, and I wouldn't even want my own enemy to feel that way. So I'm always here for an ear or whatever you need.
See, that's what's up. Ashley, a real one. She a hustler. She a mommy.
Yeah.
She a woman.
I'm
you
a
know?
woman.
Oh.
Hear me roar.
She an old friend of mine. We've been homies for so long.
Yes.
This is so much. So what do you think about coming on the podcast?
I loved it. This is awesome. Just being in your presence, though, Jordan, you know how much I love you. Like, you're just amazing. We have the most fun, the most laughs. Like, time just flies when I'm with this guy. Like, honestly, if you guys want another hot sauce, oh, here I disappear again. If you guys want another hot sauce tasting challenge, I'm totally down. I thought that was really sick. I love spicy food. Like, I love, like, the hotter the better. Like, give it to me, daddy. So, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, if you want us to do something like that, like, we're just like a fucking dynamic duo.
Yeah,
like,
we like to do. It's like, and I think we both.
We feed off each other's energy. It's like the ultimate #friendship goals.
Yeah, for real. We straight up. We even matching unintentionally.
I know.
That's one thing that's so crazy.
Yeah, that's like telepathy next level, man.
Like, wow.
And it's even the same shade of blue.
Yeah, that's what's
like. What is this?
And I just got.
And my Crocs. I'm wearing my son's Crocs today. So when the strap, they have. This is gonna be funny. They have a strap on, like they do, like not that kind of strap on, but sorry. But like my kids say, when it's in the front, it's like chill. But when it's the straps on your back, it's like sport mode. So my Crocs for sport mode. I show up in the fucking snow. It's snowing here already. Can you believe it? Dang.
And she's showing Crocs. There's snow on the ground. She got blue Crocs.
I'm not ready.
on.
I'm not accepting it. Okay.
Because that was me too. I always go because I wear flip flops mostly.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I had to go out last night, and I was like, no, I have to switch to the boots now.
Dang. Yeah, like I'm just really sad because like I do like to wear sexy clothes, so it's like, how stupid you look when it's -30, 10 feet of snow, and you be looking all slutty, but you gotta hoes don't sleep, hoes don't sleep.
Hoes don't sleep. That's not what the saying is.
What is the saying?
Hoes don't. Hoes
ain't no
cold.
rest for the hoes.
Something like that. There's something like that.
There ain't no rest for the wicked, but
oh,
you know what I mean.
Jeez.
Catch me on the scene. Here I be rapping bars.
But that's for real though. It gets so cold here, and you see the motherfuckers out there actually wearing nothing. But
yeah, there's always like a hot Amber outside walking with no jacket. I hope Amber gets home okay.
A hot Amber, eh? That's a real.
Everyone has a hot ass friend named Amber. I have one too. Shout out Amber. She's my real OG. We've been friends for like forever, since I was 18. So yeah, she's hot as fuck. She's engaged now, but there's always a hot Amber wearing no jacket on White Ave.
I don't know if I know an Amber.
Dang, you don't know an Amber?
I know quite a few. I know even so many Jordans. That's the one thing. I know so.
But there's only one real one.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's only one there's Jay-Z too, I guess.
Do you remember the first time you realized that not everybody has let me say that again. Do you remember the first time that you realized other people had your name? Because I remember the first time I realized that there was other Ashleys out there, and it was sheer disappointment, and I felt so hurt from my parents. I remember it was at a Save On Foods, and I saw the name tag. I was like 5, and I was just starting to read, and I was like, dang! She got my name? Does she know that that's my name? Like, it was the most disappointing feeling.
I don't know if I ever realized that. But I do have a cousin named Jordan.
Does he spell it the same or she?
Exactly the same.
Is it a she or
it's
a he?
A he.
Yeah.
And I didn't even. So we were going on a road trip to my grandpa's house in Winnipeg.
Ooh, Winnipeg.
So super far. And so we get there and they have like a fucking. They used to have a trampoline in the front yard. Ooh. And so we pull up.
Do people randomly jump on it? Like, imagine just being like, boom.
And because it was kind of like in a hoodish spot, you know, there was like people fucking rambling through and shit, you know. And I remember they were jumping. I don't know if we were already there a day or whatever, but there was a bunch of kids jumping on the trampoline.
Wow.
And I remember going out there and being like, yo, get off my fucking grandpa's trampoline, you know? It's like, what are you talking about, grandpa's trampoline? And then my mom comes out and she's like, Jordan! And I look and so does the guy on the trampoline. And so we're
looking at each other.
We're like getting mad at each other.
Yeah.
I think it's a stranger. He don't know who I am. He's like, you guys are cousins. It's like, huh?
Wow.
It was a crazy way to like meet someone.
That's wild.
It's like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You know? It's like, what
you
the
got my name too, bro?
So, then we're home. I wonder where that guy is. I haven't even. Anyways. Yeah, we've been through it. We've been here for a while. We talked quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you do want to come back on, if you got something popping off in your life or something you ever want to come back through, please.
Yeah.
This is always fun. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
doing this. Is there anything, I always ask everybody, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go?
No, just spread love, not hate, and just be positive, and everything's going to be okay. And, you know, most of the things that we worry about, we can't control. So just ride it out.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to
ride that beat.
That's a beautiful way to end it. Thank you again for being here, my friend. This is I either stutter on the ending or at the beginning, but that's okay. We're still new to the game. Thank you so much for being here. I'll have her Instagram tagged in the description below. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Thank you again for tuning in. More love, more success. This has been A Moment with Jay.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always. Jay.